Let's talk about Shortland Street coming in at number 5. It goes up a couple of spots in my rankings, and that is mostly because Shortland Street just has entertaining storylines that don't either A, annoy me, or B, bore me. Those are the two negatives that a lot of these other soap operas lower in the rankings do that annoy me or just bore me. Shortland Street is just entertaining enough to be better than the other soaps that came before it in my rankings for this month. It's not even close to being as good as the top 4 soap operas in my rankings, but it's better than all the either boring or bad soap operas below it. And we'll talk about some of the stories here. We have the character of Tom, who I talked about in the last month of October, who's becoming a new father, and he still has this little kind of relationship with Tess. And we got to see more of Tess this month, and her mother, who's like dying, but has this really trash boyfriend that is kind of clashing with Tess a lot. So I mean, that wasn't my favorite story, and it was kind of the more recent story going on for the month, but it was still entertaining enough. We had the character of Mauve, that's what I'm going to call her, who went against protocol and gave a blood transfusion to a patient, like broke protocol to do it. And that was kind of a lot of the storylines for the month. I've noticed a lot with Shortland Street that every week there's kind of a new character working at the hospital, going through a crisis or making bad decisions or just really stressed out, which kind of gets redundant, honestly, but it's still entertaining and I enjoyed that storyline. We had Lewis and JoJo, who were kind of hooking up. The character of JoJo being this free spirit who is working at the hospital, and Lewis is making a lot of mistakes, and JoJo ended up taking the blame for it because she wants to quit her job and just be a bartender, which I found interesting. I don't know where that relationship between Lewis and JoJo is going, or if it's even going anywhere else. But we then saw JoJo kind of move in with Samara and Dawn. Dawn also has a new fling with, I believe his name is Kev, maybe. We're going to say Kev, and I need to write that down because I keep forgetting his name. But I don't even know if that character will even last or if that relationship will even last because things on Shortland Street move really quick. Now, probably the most intriguing thing to me are the characters of Madonna, and I believe his name is Viliami, and hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. I really like these two, and they're not on a lot for me, and they don't dive deep enough into these two as a couple and having problems kind of getting together. But Viliami ended up faking his annulment, telling Madonna he wasn't married anymore when he really was, and they ended up hooking up. And that, of course, pissed Madonna off. But later, she started to realize that she loves him and even proposed to him, which was a lot. So I just wish the story was on more, or that it was just more better paced, I guess, because I enjoy those two characters and I enjoy that couple. Honestly, one of the better parts of the show for me. But like I said, there's no part of the show that I dislike, and that's why it's so high in my rankings right now, even if it can move a little quick. Of course, we have Chris, who has been into Viv, but she's married to Liam. And Viv has this drinking problem, and Chris and Viv end up kissing, and Chris and Liam are going at it. Liam accusing Chris of being obsessed with Viv. And that story kind of led into another intriguing story that hasn't really been clear to me, but a lot of the people that work at the hospital have been having these symptoms where they get really mad and then end up passing out. And it happened to Marty, it happened to Harper, and then it started happening to Chris, where we see Chris getting really upset and almost attacking Liam with a hammer, but then Chris ends up passing out, having a heart attack. And I'm recording this before the last couple episodes of November for Shortland Street. So I don't know if that story will be touched upon more. They kind of dropped the last few episodes. I'm assuming there's a bigger picture to that story, but it was really intriguing, and it led to some good cliffhangers and we're setting up this blackout story that's going to be happening. So I think Shortland Street's in a good place. I assume they take a Christmas break similar to Neighbors. So I don't know what that's going to mean for Shortland Street in December. But for now, I have Shortland Street at number 5. I think it's a highly entertaining show. I think there's nothing that gets on my nerves yet. It's inevitable. It's inevitably going to happen because, I could be a negative person. People will tell me that on this channel all the time. But really, I'm just realistic. Sorry. I'm a fan, not a stan, like I talked about in the General Hospital video. But for now, I put Shortland Street at number 5. It's going to have a hard time getting higher than that because the other shows that are higher are the 4 shows I've really been enjoying. But we'll see if it drops or if it stays the same. Thank you for watching. Hope you will keep watching my soap opera ranking.